We all know Sacramento is still an amazing spot to live. You got Roseville, El Dorado Hills, Folsom, just to name a few. But right now, what we're seeing is some areas are a little slower than others. There still are some areas where basically someone throws up a house, good price point, and it flies. But there are certain areas also that things are just kind of sitting on the market for no reason. So today we identify a little bit about the hot areas that are still really active, and we talk about the areas that you might be able to get a deal in the Sacramento market currently. Let's get into the video and let's talk a little bit Sacramento real estate. All right, guys, hopefully you guys are having an enjoyable evening. This is our live show that we do every single Wednesday at 7 p.m. just for you, so you can ask all your questions about the Sacramento real estate market currently, how it is. And what you're gonna notice on YouTube is sometimes videos are done, and myself included, this like 2 years ago. And let's face it, the market is changing and it does its thing. And sometimes, you know, the price point goes up, the areas change. And this show is meant to tell you guys exactly what's going on in the market, real-time information. So hopefully you guys are going to enjoy the show. Now, first of all, before we get into talking a little bit about the neighborhoods people are still moving into and all that kind of fun stuff, there's something that I just want to address. Big elephant in the room right now, too. Basically, based on everything going on with the Fed, and everything going on with the government right now, everyone is kind of thinking to themselves like, you know, and lenders are going crazy on this one too. They're saying, you know, there's too much pressure. Too much pressure is going to be applied and rates are going to go down. Now, here's the thing, and this is the biggest thing, this is the biggest problem I have with this is those are the same kind of lenders who were saying about 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago that they see rates staying the same till the end of this year. So for me, I'm skeptical. I'm calling kind of BS on it, you know, until I see it. And for you guys, I would also, you know, I'm seeing all the social media about eventually rates are going to go down this year and all this stuff too. I don't see it happening. And, you know, I'm not willing to bet on it as far as all that stuff goes. So for you guys, just understand that in the last 2 years, majority of people who've been guessing rates, even, you know, the guru of gurus, Barry Habib, they've been wrong. They've absolutely been wrong. They haven't been able to predict nothing. So for you guys out there who are just hearing something, or, you know, maybe your uncles, brothers, cousins telling you rates are going to be going down, because there's too much there's too much pressure being put on, you know, the Fed, like, guys, we just saw right now that the Fed basically said, no, we're going to keep rates where they are. And so I would just say, deal with the right here and now, right? Deal with it this moment, like time your life, don't time the market. And just don't bet on it. Just don't bet on the idea of, you know, like there being a crash or there being like, you know, rates going down. Now, I'm not telling you that stuff isn't going to happen. And, you know, I doubt a crash is going to happen really, really, you know, I don't see it, especially in our area. But at the same time, like for me, deal with the here, deal with the now, deal with the like immediate future. And if you try to predict it so much in advance, like, you know, what rates are going to do and everything too, I've seen more people get burned than anything else. In fact, if you go back in time and watch some of the live shows that I was doing, when there was 2.75s, you know, majority of the time I was telling people, I'm like, this is 2.75 land right now. Like this isn't going to last that long. There are a lot of people popping on the show going like, no way, prices are going to crash. There's just no way, no way, no way. And then interest rates went up and they kind of missed the boat because they're betting on what was going to happen in the future. So I'd say for you guys, for the most part, just understand that time your life, don't time the market, you know, and just don't listen to a lot of that static out there. You know, just deal with what's right in front of you and what's concrete. What do the rates look like today? What does inventory look like today? What does your job situation look like? What does the money in the bank look like? What is your ability to pay a certain mortgage amount? Those are your tangibles. Those are stuff that you can touch, feel, and those are things. Everything else is just static and noise. And I don't care how good of a mortgage professional or, you know, realtor is telling you this stuff. That just don't bet on that. Okay, so now let's jump into the video. Now, I dropped a video last Friday. And it was just about going over some of the questions and some of the stuff that I've been getting on this channel about Sacramento in general. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Now, another video I plan on dropping, not this Friday, but possibly the next Friday. I interviewed Derek Minima, and he is basically the civil engineer that's in charge of the connector project. We went on for an hour talking about like how far the project is going to go, if it's going to connect with the 80, if it's going to be a toll road and all that kind of fun stuff. So it's going to be great. And we got drone footage of all this stuff. It's going to be fantastic. So I'm either going to drop it. I think I'm going to drop it next Friday, but it's something that if you guys are looking at like what Sacramento is going to look like in the future, I mean, it's crazy, the stuff that we got going on here. So that's kind of one of the things I will tell you. Now, as far as our market in general, Like we're seeing sellers kind of delist the ones that are either living in their homes or thinking about putting them up as rentals. And then you're seeing a lot of other sellers basically, hang tight, but you're also seeing a lot of people drop some prices, which I think is good. I think for a lot of people right now, don't be afraid to throw in an offer, right? I think, too low, I'm not a big fan of that. But I think the idea I'd say a lot of these listings on the market currently and probably within the next couple of weeks, there is definitely wiggle room. And hopefully you can find a happy medium. And right now we're going to go through some of the places that I'm going to tell you guys that I'm seeing as being like still pretty solid and kind of areas that right now are a little bit, I color coded this and I did this honestly, pardon the scribbling and everything too, but I kind of want to show you guys a little bit about what I'm seeing right now is still like the hotter markets in the Sacramento area. So let's start with here. We go to Elk Grove. All the red ones I see as still being those markets that it's still tough. Even if like everyone's telling you, oh, inventory's piling up, it's easy to get a house. Okay, let's focus in on Elk Grove. First of all, Elk Grove is still one of the most competitive markets out there. Price point, schools, location of the Bay Area, Elk Grove is still hot. I would say the hottest zip code in Elk Grove is 757 with all the new home building. As far as like competition goes, the new homes, you can still probably get something. You're not going to get the pick of the litter like you would back in West Roseville or Rancho, but Elk Grove, you're probably going to be able to do that. The only builder I see that really is a hard one to jump into at this point is KB, just because the price point is so much lower than the others. Elk Grove is still very, very hot. Now, what I have noticed as well too, because see, what you're noticing in Elk Grove right now too, is a lot of the builders weren't building those like big floor plans, like 3,000 square feet. Now, a lot of them are. So you're seeing some of the older Elk Grove homes that are like in the 3,000 square feet. Those are hurting a little bit too. You're seeing a lot of them that are outdated and everything too. And those things are sitting on the market. But as far as like entry level, we're talking like between like 550 and 850. Elk Grove is still a pretty intense market. Now, for all you people who like Elk Grove and you're thinking about jumping into a new home, yeah, I would say like Arbor right now by New Home Company, you can definitely get some kind of deal going there. Taylor Morrison, I think, is doing their 4.99 interest rate as well too. So there are deals to be had in Elk Grove, but the resale market, like I said, what I find with Elk Grove is that if you're looking for schools, location, growth potential, close to Sacramento, and the barrier to entry, you're not going to find anything better than Elk Grove for the most part that I've seen, and people just love Elk Grove. So Elk Grove still super hot market, super competitive still. This is all relative as well too. I'm just breaking it down as far as the markets, which ones you're jumping into. Now, Folsom. Now, as far as new homes go, there's not a whole lot of new homes right now being built in Folsom. You got like Shawwood, which I love the build, too close to the 50. Price point's a little high. Toll Brothers over at Preserve, what's called Oak Trails is hurting. The other one, Heritage Trails, is doing really good. All those big luxury homes are going. I would say communities like that are high demand in Folsom are the one by Serpa. I'd say Empire Ranch is still pretty hot. I'd say like Briggs Ranch, Rancho Diablo, the Lexington Hills area and all that stuff. Folsom is just still pretty hot. I mean, honestly, I would say Folsom is probably one of those areas that it's slowed down a little bit just because the market is the way it is. But Folsom has always just been that powerhouse. And one of the reasons why you see a Folsom and Elk Grove and some of these other parts, these other areas and communities and areas like still hot is because a lot of people from the Bay Area have heard of Folsom. A lot of people have heard of Elk Grove, Roseville, Grand Bay. So they've narrowed it down to some of these areas. Now, you're going to see a lot of people who like Folsom, find it being way too competitive. And a lot of those people are going to pivot into maybe like your Fair Oaks, maybe into El Dorado Hills, depending on which way they want to go. But for the most part, a lot of the targets that people come into in the Sacramento area tend to be like your Elk Groves, your Folsom, your Grand Bay, or your Roseville, because those areas are the ones that are the most known outside the Sacramento area, metro area. So Folsom's still pretty hot. Like I said, for me, if I was looking in Folsom, I was thinking to myself, like, I want to jump into Folsom. A lot of people still haven't heard of there's certain areas like American River Canyon North that is still pretty popular. It's still going, but like the areas that I like, Briggs Ranch, no HOA, no Melrose, Rancho Diablo. I love those areas, and you're so close to Folsom Lake. Nice walking trails, good community vibes. So I like Briggs Ranch in Folsom as far as a community, but honestly, anywhere you go in Folsom, it's just going to be a pain right now too, comparatively towards the other markets in Sacramento. Now, Grand Bay has always been that place. Granite Bay is what a lot of people who grew up in Sacramento were like, I want to one day move into Granite Bay. Granite Bay is like my target market. So Granite Bay, hard to get in there underneath $1 million. Granite Bay has always been very, very much of a tough market to jump into. Now, what I will tell you though is, some of the homes in Granite Bay that are sitting are maybe these big monster houses that have like 3 studies, weird bedrooms, like backyards that back up to like Folsom Auburn. So there are some houses that are sitting, but for the most part, Granite Bay has been one of those spots. If you look at appreciation and all that stuff too, it's just going. Granite Bay has always been like that spot that has been just steady. Now, Roseville's an interesting one. I would say Roseville, if you're looking at Roseville, where it butts up to Rockland or Granite Bay, I think those areas are still super competitive. I think as far as like, it's still a super hot market. There's not a lot of inventory in those areas. And, those areas in Roseville, they kind of, half the time they're on, you see them on the maps and they're like Granite Bay, half the time they're in Roseville. So those areas are still super competitive. And the area of Roseville that butts up to Rockland, people like living in Roseville, but still having that kind of like Rockland big kind of house and everything too. Now, to the next level, I'd say is probably the blue. So we got El Dorado Hills. Now, what I've been noticing because of, all the home insurance and everything too, a lot of people won't even look at El Dorado Hills at this point now, which I think is a little bit crazy because unless you talk to a home insurance person, you're not going to know what fire insurance looks like up there too. PG&E is another one. So El Dorado Hills normally is really, really hot. I would say it's probably less hot than Folsom. I'm seeing a lot of people pivot from El Dorado Hills to Folsom right now too. But El Dorado Hills is still one of those spots where I'm seeing that if a house is put on the market, really, really nice, it's going to go. El Dorado Hills has got some staple communities also too. You got Blackstone, which is a little bit more modern, Lennar community. You got Serrano, which is basically the big bad boy in the El Dorado Hills area. Tippy top of the hill, golf course community. Go down Greenview if you don't believe me. Awesome. And then you got other areas like, Promontory as well too. And you got some really great spots in El Dorado Hills, especially if you kind of go down that road towards Pilot Hill. So El Dorado Hills, I give it a blue. I think it's slowed down a little bit. I'm seeing stuff in El Dorado Hills sit and I'm looking at the price point and going like, it's not overpriced even, it's just sitting. So a lot of people are kind of looking at that. Okay, so then we switch over to the 80 and we look at Rockland and Loomis. I think Rockland for the most part is just slowing down a little bit. I think if you're someone who's looking to get to that Roseville area between, next to Rockland or Granite Bay, it's going to be harder to jump into those areas than your Rocklands. I'm seeing inventory kind of pile up in Whitney Ranch, which is weird for me because Whitney Ranch is usually like it lists, it sells, it goes. So I'm seeing stuff in Whitney Ranch, a little bit overpriced, but still gorgeous homes. And one of the things that a lot of the clients that I've been talking to about Whitney Ranch, because I love Whitney Ranch. I mean, $84 HOA, you get the pool, cabana, great community vibe. Everyone's dropping off their kids in golf carts. But a lot of the people right now that I'm looking at and I'm showing Whitney Ranch to, they have one thing to say about Whitney Ranch. All the houses look the same. And I hopefully there's a little bit more of a change in floor plans and Anthem's building, which is a little bit different, but it'd be nice to see. Now, if you're trying to get into Whitney Ranch and you want those like great schools in Rockland and all that stuff too, I do love the KB homes. You can get something for $500,000 there. They're not the biggest houses in the world, but I do think for an investor or for someone who for their first time home, like that area is going to pop once a Whitney Ranch retail center pops up there too. So I like that. Now, I think in Rockland, one of the communities that's completely overlooked, and in my opinion shouldn't be, is Whitney Oaks. Everyone talks about Whitney Ranch, Whitney Ranch, Whitney Ranch, Whitney Ranch. Whitney Oaks is a fantastic community over there too. You can get some of these houses that you probably see honestly in Serrano. Golf course community as well too. Country Club Drive, you get some custom homes. Beautiful, beautiful community. I think that community is a little soft because it's getting like kind of like overlooked and the shadow of Whitney Ranch is being cast over Whitney Oaks. I think Whitney Oaks is awesome, gated community. It's older than Whitney Ranch, but some of the homes there are just stunning. I mean, custom homes on the golf course, really, really beautiful. Then I'd go to Loomis. Now, the thing about Loomis is a lot of people are freaking out a little bit about Loomis being like fire insurance and everything as well too. Loomis is an interesting one because it was almost Granite Bay before Granite Bay was Granite Bay. And I know a lot of people are saying, well, Granite Bay was part of Loomis, but Loomis is one of those spots where if you're looking for a very nice big house on a nice big piece of property, you don't mind septic. You got some hills over there too, really nice like community vibe and everything too. Like Loomis is such a cute spot. If you're like me during the holiday season, you're watching the Hallmark Channel, that's Loomis. Loomis is really fun. There's like wineries, there's good restaurants, kind of like, I'd say luxury farming, bougie, kind of that kind of vibe. That's Loomis. But Loomis, like I said, I think it's getting a little outshined by Grant Bay, so it's not as popular as a Grant Bay is. So those are the blues. Now let's flip over to the greens. Now the greens, I'd say like Lincoln, for example. I think the Lincoln Hills, I think Catavadera, I think all those spots right now in Lincoln, like those communities that are normally like $1 million plus communities like Verdera and everything too, like I think those communities are really, really soft. I'm seeing a lot of inventory pile up. If it's someone who's looking for a luxury home, and you're looking at Grant Bay, you're looking at Serrano, but you're not finding what you're looking for, and you're kind of already, you're already going to be on PG&E anyways, I would say look at Verdera. Verdera right now, I'm seeing some gorgeous custom homes. The market in Verdera right now is soft. So I would say check out Verdera. It's really, really nice. Lincoln Hills area as well too. I would also say on your way to Verdera, you're going to run into that Taylor Morrison community on the hill, as well as a Woodside community. Really nice homes and everything too. That area, I would say also very, very soft at this point. I think you can get a house with views and everything too. In Verdera, you're probably looking around like 1.2, 1.3. But I would say like in that Taylor Morrison community, you probably get something for 800 right now, maybe even lower. So those areas in Lincoln, I'd say. Now, Fair Oaks and Carmichael, I'd say if you're looking in Fair Oaks, Fair Oaks and Carmichael are still relatively okay. I'd say communities like Currow Downs, I'd say communities like Phoenix Fields, the street Kenneth and everything too. I think Fair Oaks is always going to be somewhat popular. Close to the Bluffs as well too. Really nice spots, close to Sailor Bar. I love that area. Fair Oaks is just really an interesting beast because in Fair Oaks, can you get something for $550? You can. Can you get something for $3 million in Fair Oaks? You can. Carmichael is kind of the same way because they have their spots also that are right on the water as well too. So Fair Oaks and Carmichael, like I'm seeing a lot of people who are maybe not seeing the inventory that they want to see in Folsom. They're pivoting to Fair Oaks. They're pivoting to Carmichael. Some are even pivoting to Orangevale, which isn't on this map. Orangevale, like the what's called Woodbridge, that cool community that's right next door to like where Grant Bay starts. So I like that. Now, another area, and I just want to lump it all in here, are like Sacramento proper. I think this market is softer than it should be. I think East Sacramento is softer than it should be. Arden is, Sierra Oaks. I think all these areas are a little softer than they should be because these are staple, kind of like affluent, really, really nice communities. But I do think right now, because of all the stuff happening in the new homes, a lot of people are just going right through Sacramento and headed to Folsom or to Rockland. And I think the thing for you guys to understand is some of these houses in the fabulous 40s, stunners. Sierra Oaks, you can get some land really close to everything, really, really nice homes as well too. So I think a lot of people from the Bay Area who are coming into the Sacramento area right now just aren't familiar with the Sacramento proper. Now, if you are someone like that and you're saying, you know what, I don't mind this, I don't mind sending my kids to private, I'm good, I want to check out Sacramento proper. I would say certain areas I'd look at, me, I love the Pocket. I would say Arden Arcade is pretty awesome. I would say like Sierra Oaks Vista, gorgeous, especially if you're looking for like that $1-2 million house. The compounds, they have them all over there too. East Sacramento, Fab 40s, Thrifty 30s. I like that area as well too. And then you have some of the areas like Crocker Grove or Crocker Ranch. There's right over there. They're like newer homes that were built by, I think it was by Black Pines. And then you have the other community that was created by Tim Lewis as well too. So you have really nice options there. Now, what are the benefits of living in Sacramento proper? Because as we've seen, there is traffic on the 50. It's a little bottlenecked and you're seeing a lot of stuff happen there. It just is really busy. And for a lot of people, when they move to the Sacramento area, they kind of want to get to the suburb, have that big house, have that pool, drive where they want to. And Sacramento proper might be a little overwhelming just because there is traffic. There's a lot of activity there. But on the other side, you're close to like the museums. You're close to like, good, really nice Michelin star restaurants. It's a nice area where if like you're someone who maybe likes to, go downtown to some of these events, these galas, this is where you're going to go. So the food scene, I'd say bar none, it's like the Midtown area straight up. And as far as the cultural events and everything too in Sacramento, it's like right there in the East Sacramento or in Sacramento downtown. So if you like those kind of houses, like I said, the East Sacramentos, you can find stuff like 1920s with basements, really, really nice. I would say don't skip out on those areas. And like I said, the areas I would hit right now that I think are a little softer than they should be, Sierra Oaks, Land Park, East Sacramento. I think the Pocket's a little soft too, but there's never a lot of inventory happening at the Pocket. So those are the areas I would say to look at. Those communities are nice. Now, I'd say the green areas, Vineyard. For the most part, a lot of people don't know the Vineyard area. It's right between Sacramento and Elk Grove Unified. It's a little farmy, which I think intimidates a lot of people. But if you grab your phone and check out the map, you're going to see that there's a lot of stores nearby, but they're just kind of like, I don't know how to say it. They're kind of like, there's camouflage, right? You can't really see where the stores are. You just see a lot of farms, a lot of like, kind of like, it just seems a little bit like more of a slower pace out there. The craziest part about the Vineyard area is I've seen like $2-3 million houses out in the Vineyard area with nice pieces of land as well too. So I'd say if you're looking for something entry, if you're looking for something like really, really nice, the Vineyard area, the Wild Hawk area, Wild Hawk North, Wild Hawk South, and all around that golf course, really, really great. And I think you're thinking new homes too. Taylor Morrison is doing a 4.99 interest rate buy down. And their homes there at Wild Hawk, I think it's Wild Hawk North, range from anywhere between like $500 to $650. Cute little homes. And honestly, for Taylor Morrison, you're probably not going to find a Taylor home at that price point anywhere else in the Sacramento area. Then you got Rancho. I'm going to add in like the Rancho area. We'll talk about a little bit the College Glen area. And we're going to talk about the Rosemont area, La Riviera area, all by basically on the other side, but basically Sacramento State. Love this area. I don't know why, honestly, it's a little slow there. I think that area right now, if it's me and I'm saying to myself, I want to jump into a home. I want something that's close to the water, close to downtown. Like this area is so, so nice. I would look at College Glen, the Rosemont area, La Riviera. There we go. You can still get yourself a 3 and 2, probably in the 400s. No Melrose, no HOA, cute little old school kind of ranch style homes, but they're nice community. I mean, a lot of these homes also have like RV parking, like you can put your boat there. Really, really relaxed area. So like that's where I'd be looking if I wanted to kind of like really take advantage of this market. Like I said, the other areas I would say probably Citrus Heights and Antelope. Antelope's a little bit of a satellite to Roseville, but what I am seeing in Antelope that's kind of interesting right now is that because so many people are looking over here in the West Roseville area for all the new homes, a lot of people are overlooking Antelope. And so I'm seeing some homes in Antelope priced really, really nice and people jumping into it. And in fact, we have something come up in Antelope and I think that thing is going to fly. I even talked to Alana who's working with me on the listing and I'm like, that thing is going to fly because the price point is good. The location is fantastic. And there's some cute little street and communities in Antelope. This house tends to be in one. So it's good. And also Citrus Heights. The biggest problem always with Citrus Heights has always been access to the freeway, right? But Citrus Heights also, for me, I think is one of those spots that you still can get that entry-level home, $400,000, $500,000. There's different parts of Citrus Heights. On Mariposa, you can get homes with land as well too. Citrus Heights has some cute gated communities as well too. But if you're looking for a deal, honestly, I would go Citrus Heights, I'd go Rancho, I'd go Vineyard, I'd go Antelope, as far as like, entry level, like getting in there, getting for something like maybe 400, maybe like 450, 500. In fact, I have a house that someone hit me up last week and they said, Mark, I don't know why this house is moving. And I was like, all right, show me this house. And I was blown away. Check this out. Okay. So this is in the kind of the College Glen, kind of like Rosemont area, right? That I always talk about, right? So we're talking 589, 4 bedrooms, 2.5 bath. Gorgeous area. Look at that, like curb appeal. Look at that house. I mean, absolutely beautiful. Mint yard right there too. You have a lot of space all too. And you have extra space as well over there. Really, really cute house. Roof's good. Curb appeal is there as well too. And check this out. This is one of the craziest things for me as well too. 589. You got no HOAs. You got no Melrose. You're about what, like 15 minutes from downtown. You can go to Folsom. You can do whatever. You can park your boat here. No HOA people are going to jump on you for that. and you got a pool. And look at that size of backyard. You put some landscaping, you throw a gazebo, you have an outdoor fire pit, you can do whatever you want. When I saw this house, I was like, this is definitely the deal of the week. I mean, this is something that for me, for someone who's looking to buy, maybe throw in a seller credit, write the offer in, but you're not going to see too many homes like this. And like I said, this is the type of home that a lot of people are dreaming of when they come up to Sacramento. They're saying to themselves, I want something with a pool, 4 bedrooms, 2.5 bath. I want to bring up some toys, maybe buy a boat, RV. I want some space. I want some privacy. This has got it. So for me, at least, like, there are some deals out there in these softer markets that I think just people are sleeping on right now. I think people are expecting prices to just go way, way, way down, which they might. I don't think that lower in Sacramento, but that's kind of what I'm seeing. So like I said, this is the house of the week. This thing is really good. If you guys have, I mean, you can either look up the address on Zillow or give me a call and give you some more details on this house. But I think for the most part, like this house, like, look at this thing. It's so nice. 2-car garage. Look at that lawn. I mean, okay, let's break this up a little bit. $589, right? You got a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath. You got a pool. Pools, as we know in the Sacramento area, what, like 60, 80 grand to put in that type of pool in? Okay. Then if you buy something like that at the new homes, you're going to look at something like KHOV or something, or, you know, maybe Beezer. And then you're looking at maybe something that's going to give you maybe like a 15, 20 foot backyard. This backyard is monster, and it comes with a pool and no Melrose and HOAs. So for me, I love this. And if you guys haven't seen the picture of it inside, it is just awesome. So like I said, this is the home of the week. Let me know what you guys think, if you like it or not. I do. Like I said, I talked to the gentleman who is putting it on the market, and he's like, I don't know why it's not flying. And normally when I go see houses that, you know, people are like, I don't know why it's not selling, I look at them like, oh, it's the price. No, I like the price on this. I think it's a good price. I think it's in a good location. I think the community is nice, and you get a pool for $589. Find me better on the MLS right now. All right. So now let's go into the market. Hopefully you guys had a little bit of an insight in some of the communities, areas, and whatnot in Sacramento that I think are, you know, like I said, a little soft right now too. And like I said, this is kind of what I'm seeing as of right now. For example, the house we have listed in Folsom, as of last night, we had like 3 offers. So we got a multiple probably going out this evening. Folsom is still hot. It just is. You know, and maybe you'll find maybe a house that's maybe a little beat up in Folsom, but for the most part, Folsom's just a hot market. Elk Grove, like I said, if you're looking for something like a bigger home, that's where you probably will get a deal in Elk Grove. But like I said, like in Elk Grove, you can probably buy something like a 3 and 2 there for maybe low 6s, right? You can't do that in Folsom. And Elk Grove's got the schools and the location. So I don't know. It's just really, 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 you know, like it's very competitive. I would say if you're someone who is in love with Elk Grove and that's where you want to go, maybe look at the 624 or the 758 as well too. The other thing too, after talking to the civil engineer that's in charge of the connector, I mean, for me at least, I look at it and I say to myself that, you know, like Rancho could be just that spot, you know? So I don't know. I'm excited about all this kind of stuff. So, okay, let's get into a little bit more of the market and we'll get into some questions. Okay. So here we go, guys. We are on this crazy road of, inventory still stacking up a little bit too. Now, the crazy part is we do have a lot of clients that are looking in various price ranges. We work with some people who are looking for the luxury homes. Some people who are looking for the entry homes. Even though it shows this massive kind of like going uphill for like inventory, honestly, guys, it still isn't that inventory that everyone's drooling over. It's just not. I mean, I wish I could tell you, man, you know, like if you're looking for that dream home in Roseville, you're going to find 5 of them. It's still not that market. And I wish it was. It'd be fantastic if this is this inventory spike were the houses everyone's waiting to see, but it's just not those houses. I mean, now and again, you might see one pop up, you know, maybe once a week or something too, but they're not really the, you know, 9 out of 10s or 10 out of 10s, or maybe like the 7 out of 10s, 8 out of 10s and everything too. So I think a lot of the inventory we're seeing on the market that's stacking up is inventory that's maybe been listed, taken off the market, rented a little bit, thrown on the market. We're not seeing that primo kind of amazing inventory that we normally see. So hopefully we'll start to see that a little bit more towards the end of this year. Wendy, honestly, you are case in point exactly of what we're talking about. Like, we're working with Wendy. She is amazing. But the same thing for like Wendy, we've been searching for a specific kind of house that she wants, and we're not seeing like the 9s and the 10s. We're seeing like a 7, maybe an 8 on a good day, but we're not seeing that house that's going to say, oh, that is my house. I want that house. That's the house I've always dreamed of. I want it. I want it. I want it. And so don't let these inventory numbers kind of confuse you a little bit about thinking to yourself like, oh man, inventory's rising, all these great houses on the market. I'm going to go out there one weekend and pick out a house out of a litter of houses that I'm going to fall in love with. You're not going to have that. It's just not going to be that way. You might find one if you're lucky. And the rest of the inventory is just going to be honestly just kind of stuff that you might have seen before, a little misleading with the photos and everything too. So just be aware that yes, everyone's going to be talking about inventory. Inventory is stacking up. It's just not the primo inventory that I was hoping to see. All right. Video editor, how are you doing? All right. I'm on live, so I can't really talk video editing, but hit me offline and we'll talk. All right. Greetings and blessing, my friend. Good evening. Good evening to you as well, too. I always appreciate that good note, good blessings and everything, too. So greetings and blessings. So back to you. Hopefully you have an amazing, evening, day, and week, and your family's good and all that fun stuff. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. Now, if you guys are enjoying what's called the video and everything too, and the live broadcast, let me know. We're going to get into some more statistics. We're going to have some more fun. And like I said, if you guys got questions about the market, let me know. I mean, we've been all over the place too. Like we've been filming, we just put an amazing couple in their first home yesterday. Like I said, our house right now in Folsom, we're going to be sending out a multiple this evening. What else do we got? House in Antelope coming up, West Sacramento coming up. We just put in an offer for a $2 million home in Folsom. Alana did that. Nikki's got a house in Natomas. So it's very much like, as far as a market goes, there's a lot. But what you're noticing with buyers specifically, it's not a market where a buyer comes in and all of a sudden they find their dream home right away. This is a market where if you're a realtor and you expect just to one house, one client, one pre-approval, and you're good, it's not that market, which I do think is going to test realtors too. For us, we're still the same way we've always been. We pride ourselves on educating you guys. We pride ourselves on being great tour guides, being great information people to tell you about areas, communities, and all that stuff. And we like the journey. We want you guys to find that perfect home. And for us, that's the main thing. Now, I will say this one thing too. I know some people don't like it when I say this, but look, here's the thing. I will say right now, when you are listing your home, like I said, we've had so much luck with YouTube and everything too. Just make sure that, you're working with like someone who actually markets in this, in this day and age. A lot of the people that I'm seeing, a lot of the listing agents, are just not really open to video or promoting their videos or the house tours and everything too. Now, like I've said many times on this broadcast, it's not the fact that maybe, YouTube is going to be the end all and be all, but at the same time, like an open house won't be as well too, but people are up for doing open houses. For me, videos are awesome. Like there's been so many times too that people have gone to the open houses and I've sent them the video of the house. Here's a video of the house, send it to your client as well too. It's the best marketing material that you can give to someone as well too, once you have a good video of a house. And for me, I love to put myself in the house because I want to call out those details that people might be missing. So for me, I think honestly, at this point in time, I don't know. I mean, you guys got to work with listing agents that aren't those old school, like, hey, let's throw it in a magazine and promote my brand and not your listing. Like, just be very, think outside the box. Because I mean, a lot of the people that we're marketing to are people from the Bay Area. They're used to seeing YouTube on their television. They're used to going on Instagram and everything too. And the Sacramento real estate market and realtors in general here in Sacramento are just kind of like the post in the ground, cross your fingers, bake the cookies, and let's go. And for me, one of the things that I've been honestly a big fan of is, listing agreements normally for a house are 6 months. I kind of think listing agreements should be 3 months. I think after 3 months, you guys should be off the hook. If your realtor couldn't do the job for you in 3 months, you should have that option to go to another realtor. Because I think after 3 months, if they couldn't do the job, either they were kind of, going soft on what the pricing should be, or they just right now have gone through their circle of influence and maybe, someone else should be up at bat to get your house sold instead of waiting another 3 months, a couple open houses, crossing your fingers, and hopefully that one buyer will come around. So that's me just saying, just throwing it out there. All right. Manuel, the Fed's not lowering as a sign of inflation. It's going to be a long winter. Yeah, and the funniest thing too is I'm on Instagram, right? And I'm seeing all these realtors going, yeah, they're not lowering it. I can't believe this. But you know what? The pressure is eventually going to get to them and they are going to lower it. Prove me wrong, because honestly, I'm with you, Manuel. I'm thinking they're not. I don't think it's going anywhere. I think we're going to see, honestly, I think we're going to see the dance of the sevens like I've been talking, about for a while. I think rates are going to go, where are they? I think, here we go. Fed rates steady. I mean, I just don't see it, right? And like I said, I think a lot of people right now are so adamant on the idea. And I think one of the main people I see doing this are kind of like, realtors and lenders that I think are just trying to chum the water a little bit to get people all excited and everything. Now, rates might drop. I don't know. They could. I don't think they will. But I would say don't count on it. I mean, don't count on it. Just don't count on it, right? Focus on the here, focus on the now. I mean, that, at least for me, would be what I would do if I was looking to buy a house at this moment. Okay, so we got inventory rising as it does, but like I said, not the primo stuff that we've been looking for, not those 4-bedroom, 2.5 houses, with a pool in Folsom going for $850. Those houses, no. And if those houses do pop up, there's a lot of offers for those. Okay, and we're seeing days of the market increase. As we've seen right now, it's spiking. So we're actually increasing, what is it, by we're increasing by a couple days. So it's going up, and what you're going to see towards this time is, it's what I like to call the August lull. Now, in August, what's called July, August, basically August is here. You're going to see that people are going on their last vacations. People are getting ready for school. No one really is focused on the idea of let's get a house, right? Schools are a big thing. A lot of people come in from the Bay Area and they want to have school set up. So what you're going to notice as well too is that there's going to be a little bit of a lull. Could be a time for you to take advantage of the market. But I think right now what you're going to notice too is it's just the days of the market is going to increase. And it's going to be, like Manuel said, probably a long winter unless something crazy happens. Now, where do I think are the deals, right? Because everyone's always about the deals. I think the new homes. I think you're going to see builders because here's the thing in our area, right? You've got so many builders that are competitive, right? Like you got West Roseville, what is it? Woodside's got 3 communities. Richmond's got 2 communities. Pulte's got 2 communities. D.R. Horton, I think, has got 3 communities. The list goes on and on and on. And all these people are going to be fighting for your business just in West Roseville. And then you throw it to what is it, to Rancho as well too, and everything too. So I think the deals are going to be in the new homes. I think that's going to be the big thing. And I think incentives are going to get a little bit better. And if you have a builder that's very aggressive on their building, they could get stung and buyers can win. And, I think a lot of the people I've talked to, a lot of the people, that have come out are even kind of waiting for that to happen. And do I blame them? Absolutely not. Everyone wants a deal. Everyone wants the house and everything too. So I would just say the only thing that could crush that is if the rates either come down or builders decide to slow down on their building and pace it off a little bit too. But for the most part, my own belief is the fact that if you are looking for deals, you're going to find them in the new homes. I'm seeing a Taylor Morrison. I'm seeing an Etna that I saw. What was it? I saw an Etna that was dialed in. It was absolutely beautiful with a backyard big enough for a pool that was being sold for, I think, 1.4. And those things, when they first opened Bickford Ranch, those things were going for 1.7, 1.8. And this thing was going for 1.3, 1.4. I think it was 1.4 with a backyard big enough for a pool. So I think there are some deals. I think you just got to kind of hunt them out. If you're looking for the best deals, I'd say probably Rancho first, West Roseville second. The Vineyard area, I'd say, is pretty good as well too. Folsom isn't building that much. So you're not going to see too many deals over there too, but you're going to find some. What else? Especially hidden Toll Brothers Oak Trails, you're going to find some. What was I going to say? I think Lennar right now in Rancho is giving some good deals as well too. Elliott opened up a new community that's a little bit more affordable. Lincoln, I think you're going to see some deals at new homes as well too. So there's going to be some deals, and I think, like I said, if interest rates stay where they're at, you're probably going to see more incentives, more move-in ready homes, and you could really do well this winter. If it's your time to buy, like I said, just because it's a deal doesn't mean you necessarily should jump in the market. You got to evaluate your situation. All right. I was looking into new homes. Then my friend told me about the tax assessment the following year. They went from 350 a month to 520 a month. Yikes. I know. You know, like you just got to watch all those expenses. One of the big ones too is like, you know, the whole Melrose, HOAs, and, you know, all that kind of fun stuff happening. Like, you know, a lot of people are always asking me like, hey, how long is Melrose is going to last for? And I'm like, don't plan on it leaving anytime soon. In fact, I mean, here's the scary part about Melrose. If let's say they decide to build another police department, I mean, they could add another Melrose bond on top of that. But like we saw also in Hidden Ridge is they reduced their Melrose. So Melrose is really one of the things that kind of, it doesn't really make me that happy. HOAs, you know, I mean, you know, you've seen a lot of these communities, maybe like between like 40 and 120, like in the Rancho area, depending on what they're doing. So just be kind of like aware about all the added expenses, right? Figure out exactly also, you know, buying your solar versus leasing your solar. The other thing too is a huge one is figure out how much the landscaping cost is. Because if you're going for the new homes, trust me, you're not going to be getting a backyard unless you get a model home. And those model homes usually are just so priced so high. So I would say also landscaping costs, but just make sure all those additional costs are, you know, just factored in and you know those little gotchas. And also, you know, as much as you want to assume home insurance is going to be basically next to nothing for new homes, that's something I would check as well too. All right. Done. In contract right now, $50K discount, 3.875 interest rate, and $5K in closing costs. Assistance using a VA loan. You gotta go. You gotta be telling me you're going. Yeah, Rancho. Knew it, guys. I'm telling you, like, and I'm not like telling you like it's the best or the worst or whatever. I'm just telling you, I literally. I know where all the good sodas and all the good food is being kept at all the new home communities in Rancho because I go there so often. And I look at Rancho and I say, like, if you're looking for deals, if you're looking for a nice home deals, like in Sacramento, straight up, you're not going to West Sacramento. You're not going like West Roseville. You're not going to Lincoln. If you're looking to stay in that Sacramento metro, I mean, Rancho is where you go for the deals. You probably go to Kehov to get the best deal in the Rancho area. Now, that's the Sacramento area. Like I said, I think if you're okay with going outside the Sacramento area, I think you can go to like Plumas Lake. I think you can get some great deals at Cressley, which, you know, in Rancho, Cressley is probably the premier builder right now building there too. So like you can get a Cressley home for like 450, 520 in, I think it's like Plumas Lake. So there are some deals outside, but as far as Sacramento Metro, as far as like, if you hear about these crazy deals, where do you go? You go to Rancho. And so that's what I would encourage all you guys to do. Rancho is just it. Is Rancho SMUD? Absolutely it's SMUD, which makes it even better. Like I said, there's always gotchas in every single area, I'm telling you. But as far as like incentives, as far as if someone's asking me, hey, look, I need to get a home. I want to buy a home. I'm looking for something for maybe like under $500,000. I hear there's incentives. Rancho is always usually our first spot we're looking at. And guys, like I said, there's not one team in the Sacramento area that like, you know, that sells new homes more than we do. Like we know all the sales reps and everything. For 6 years, we've been selling new homes in the Sacramento area. Roseville, Rockland, El Dorado Hills, Plumas Lake, Linda, you name it. We basically sold in that community. We'd love to work with you. One of the things our team does that most other teams don't do is the fact that the builder will always pay our entire fee. If the builder pays $1 to your agent, that's what we get. Not like these new rules that make you sign a 2.5 or 3% buyer's commission. It takes money out of your pocket if the builder doesn't cover it. We are one of the only teams in the area where the builder pays our entire fee, so you never have to. Reach out to our team and we'll show you why we should be the team that you are definitely working with. Now, one of the reasons why I did that little blurb as well too is like we get paid by the builder. What you're going to notice now in the new home world, in the real estate world in general, is you're going to be like, before you go see houses, you're going to need to sign a buyer broker that says, for the most part, you're going to have to pay a realtor like 2.5 or 3%. I've even seen realtors having people sign 4%. So if that fee isn't covered, or if your fee isn't covered by the builder at closing time, you're going to need to cough up that extra money, which I think is ludicrous. And we've never worked that way. In our contract, in the what's called buyer broker that we legally have to give you, it will basically state that the builder, whatever the builder's paying, if it's $1, great. If it's whatever, that's our fee. And so just be careful when you guys pick these new home teams. Work with someone who basically will do the same as we do and let them know. I mean, maybe you don't want to work with Uncle Mark. It's okay. I get it, right? But tell them about me and say, hey, look, I saw this realtor on YouTube and he basically said that the builder will pay his fee. And, this is how he's doing it. Would you do it for me? Just make sure that they know this. Put the pressure on them. Don't pay that closing cost. All right. LOL, it's a K-Hop built. Yeah, I know. Okay, here's the thing though about K-Hop. I'll tell you this. Like, I look at all sorts of homes, right? And it's like you're buying what you're paying for and everything too. I've seen some K-Hop houses that I like Rancho Maria. There's some nice ones. I've seen some, but like I look at it this way, right? Like, would we all love to just jump into a custom home in Serrano? Sure. I mean, why not? But the realism of it is just, it's a little bit much and the price point's a little high. But I always look at it this way. I say to myself, like, if I'm just starting out and I'm thinking to myself, I want something for maybe like low 500s. I want something maybe with 4 bedrooms. I want something that is in a community where like I can Elk Grove Unified School District, there's parks and everything too. And I need to be on a certain budget. I mean, I don't know if you can get better than the K-Hop and Rancho. So I think there's homes for everybody. All right, Rancho Cordova K-Hop homes are awesome. Beautiful out there. SMUD is the best. Yeah. And like I said, K-Hop for me, I mean, if you look at the reviews, K-Hop's getting pretty good reviews as well too. But the thing that I like the most about the K-Hop thing is like, they've been so aggressive about the incentives, right? Where some communities like this, like Lennar, love Lennar. You know how I feel about Lennar. But okay, I'll tell you this. The second demand comes back into the market, their incentives are gone. They're done. K-Hop's always has consistently thrown out incentives for people looking to buy homes. I love that. I love the idea that with K-Hop, they treat buyers really, really well and give them incentives. I've really never, I mean, they've had better incentives a certain time, but they've always had some sort of incentive for people. So for me, I don't know. I got love for K-Hop. All right, watching this in West Roseville. Now I call hometown. I'm happy and thankful. West Roseville, I'm going to tell you something. West Roseville was funny because back in the day, 2 years ago, you could buy a home in West Roseville for like in the 400s. Like, D.R. Horton Express was out there. And, then you had Meritage building their communities. But because it's just developing, it's growing. You got Placer One, Placer Vineyards, a new Kaiser campus coming out there. People are really, really increasing prices in West Roseville just because that area is so up and coming. West Roseville, there's a lot to be said about that area. All right. Boom, boom, boom. Why do we need an agent for a new home? I'm lost for that. Do you really need an agent? I mean, look, here's the thing. If you know the contracts, if if you watch the show, you might not. I would just say for me, I look at it this way, right? Let's say the builder's going to say to you, look, we're going to pay your realtor a fee. Now you're going to ask him first thing, well, if I don't use a realtor, can I just grab that money and throw it into the deal and you can just give it to me or knock it off the price? They won't do it. So this is a little piece of fee that they have basically just laying around, right? It's not going to go towards you. And I've never heard of a builder basically saying oh yeah, here you go. Here's the money we're going to give to your realtor. We'll lower the price. No builder is going to do this. So you have this kind of let's call it $7,000 commission that they pay for a realtor to come in. So for you, if you pick wisely, and I would say talk to realtors and figure out what they can do for you, you're going to have realtors that go with you to the walkthroughs, go over the contracts with you, do real estate therapy, which is weirdly part of our gig as well too, because you're going to freak out about stuff. You're going to see stuff. You're going to freak out. And it's always good to have an extra set of eyes. Now, as far as the contracts go, we do this all the time. As far as having the relationships with the people at the new homes where I can tell you, look, hey, guess what? 2 weeks ago, we got a person this much. So this is where they're at as far as their incentives go. And the best part about it is it's not money out of your pocket. It's money that literally wouldn't even go to anything if you didn't use it. So just think of it that way, right? It's basically money the builder is giving you to use a realtor. But if you don't use a realtor, that money goes bye-bye. So for me, at least, I would look for a realtor, find a realtor that you like, that's going to do their due diligence. That's not just going to check you in and say bye-bye. That someone's going to be there for you every step of the way. Because if you don't use that money, and even just for an extra set of eyes, like it's not going to go to you. It's not going to go towards the deal. It's not going to reduce the price of the house. It's just basically going to go bye-bye. So that's what I tell a lot of people. I'm like, look, here's the thing. We'll go over the contracts with you, walkthroughs. We'll, negotiate as much as we can. Like I said, when I talk to realtors all the time, they're like, oh yeah, we can negotiate it. Sometimes you can't negotiate new homes. Sometimes it's that one lot that has a huge backyard that everybody has been waiting for, and we can't negotiate it. But if there is a chance on a house that we can negotiate, we'll do our best to do for you as well too. So that's kind of it. That's my big sales pitch on that. And like I said, at the end of the day, it's totally up to you. 100%. Sometimes people are like, yeah, I just don't want to deal with a realtor. They're paying. I don't want to deal with it. I just want to walk into a house, talk to the sales rep, and call it a day. So totally up to you. All right. I can talk to the builder myself. It's not exactly sending a rock. It's his face. Come on, it is. No, and I agree with you. Like, look, here's the thing. I do think that there is validity to what you're saying. I think a new home transaction tends to be a lot easier than a resale transaction. It just is. But I do think the idea that if there is this money allotted, like the builder says, okay, I'm going to give you $5,000 that you can give to a realtor to come in, to look over the contracts, look over the house, and just give you that extra kind of like their professional opinion on various aspects of the build. And if you don't use that $5,000, we're going to pocket it. Like, you lose nothing. So that's kind of what I would say to you. But again, like I said, I'm not gonna basically talk all night about like how you definitely need a realtor, or it's, use your best judgment. If you want to talk to the builder yourself and do it yourself, go for it. I mean, no harm, no foul. All right. You don't if you know what you're doing, but you can also get screwed by the builder if you aren't really on top of it. Builders will try to screw you. Yeah, they definitely. Well, here's the thing. Like, one is like, and I love my sales reps, but they do work for the builder, right? They get commission based on selling the homes. So for them, for the most part, like, they're very much like focused in on, like, if you go to like Taylor Morrison, the person wants to sell you a Taylor Morrison home. That's what they'll do. So it'll be like, don't go over there. That's this, or that over there is not great. Our houses are the best. So one of the things that realtors also do is the fact that we can kind of give you a little idea of like rating on builders and like, what if they're telling you is legit or not as well too. But again, like, there isn't anything in stone that says you need to bring in a realtor. If you feel like you know what you're doing and everything too, don't let realtors scare you into the idea that, you can't go by yourself. If you feel more comfortable going by yourself, then go by yourself. No harm, no foul. Like I said, I just want you guys to have a good experience and a good process during this whole thing. I want you guys to understand that this is not about us as realtors, not about the builder. It's about you guys and finding a home that you really, really, really love. So that's it. All right. Push your video ad to Florida. Record heat this past week. Floridians know about Sacramento because of the Kings. Yeah. I might have to do that. I'm going to tell you something. There's so many people, like all these comments that we're going to go over in a second are like, I'm moving out of California. I'm like, where are you moving? For me, California, love our weather. It gets a little hot during summer, but I'm telling you, I would honestly choose dry heat, hot, than humidity, hot. And I've been in both. I like us here in California, guys. All right. Can you explain, Mark, the upside of an agent for a new home? Let me know if I did that already, but like I said, okay, at the end of the day, and do they charge a fee no matter what? Oh, now this is where it really gets interesting. Okay, so let's say you call up a realtor, right? And let's say you're thinking, I don't know, do I want a resale home or do I want a new home? Well, your agent is going to say, hey, before I show you a house, even from Zillow, I'm going to need you to sign a buyer broker. Now, I've seen realtors sign it for 3% of the sales price of the home, 4%. 2.5 or whatever. For me, what we have in our contract, and we're different than most like real estate teams as far as this goes. If you buy a new home in our buyer broker, it basically states that whatever the builder is paying, that will be what we get. Not one penny out of your pocket. Now, I started this with my team because I think that that's only fair. I think the idea is that, we're going to, deal with it. And a lot of people would go to new homes and they don't have a huge budget as well too. They're saying, I want to go in there for the incentives, and they're trying to get those deals and save money. So what you notice too is sometimes when you work with a realtor, and if you sign that 2.5 or 3% or 4% buyer broker, and let's say, for example, like you close a deal and the builder is going to pay your realtor $5,000, and the total commission that you're paying your realtor would be like $8,000. That means 4,000 is going to, or 5,000 is going to come from the new home. And then 3,000 needs to come from you. And for me, there's no way I think that that's fair. I think that honestly, we've worked with so many people in the new home game. The builder has always paid our fee. We've never, ever, ever, ever taken one dime from any client that we've worked for. And with this buyer broker, it gets a little sketchy because, you sign it. And then, like I said, new home, like sometimes even Lennar doesn't offer any co-op for your realtor. And so then you close the deal, and then all of a sudden you got to pay your realtor 2.5 off a new home. And you're like, wait, hold on. I have to pay it? I thought the builder was paying it. So just be really careful when you sign those buyer brokers, especially if you're going to new homes, because at the end of the day, you might have to cough up money out of your own pocket instead of just having the builder pay your fee like you guys do with our team. So there you go. All right. And well, average buyer should have an agent for a new home simply for fleshing out the incentives and ensuring contract protections. Experienced buyers not really needed. Yeah, and like I said, I'd say for you guys, honestly, talk to realtors. See, also, here's the thing. One of the things also is talk to the realtor and ask them what they're going to do. For you. Some realtors I've noticed will just check someone in. And once they check you in, even if they never see you again, they get paid. So just make sure that if you are working with a realtor, one is the builder is going to pay their fee and you're not going to pay anything out of your pocket. And number two is you have some sort of agreement on what the realtor is going to do for you and that they're there when you need them, because honestly, like they should be. That's their job. Yeah, right. All right. Mark got him a French Sicilian saying proof of Sac summers are enjoyable. I'm going to tell you something. This is a result of a 2-day championship swim meet for my daughter. I was like baking, and honestly, those swim meets probably a lot easier to do it if you're like 25, 26 years old. I'm beat up. My skin feels like the sun is just blasted on it. But I mean, I look at like you said, Florida. I look at Texas. I'm not dealing with that weather. I'm okay with it. I got a little bit of a tan, and my daughter had an amazing weekend, so I'm good. And like I said, yeah, the tan, we'll see how long it lasts too. It's so funny. I see videos of myself in December, and I'm just like so pale. It's a crazy contrast. But you too, guys, if you move to Sacramento, you can have a nice tan going. All right, for 10K off my own home, it's worth it. There we go. So builders are sharks, LOL. I mean, you got to understand though, here's the thing for builders. Well, first of all, builders are greedy, just in general. Builders are just super greedy and they only care about the bottom line. Now, the sales agents that they hire, I usually refer to them as shields, right? Like they don't really have that much power in order to they can talk to the builder, but the builder's word is kind of law. Now, the new home agents, they're all, even some of the temps as well too. They're all commission based. So like in a market where like right now the demand is a little lower and things aren't selling as much too, like they're all commission based. So that's just something to be completely aware of when you're going to buy a new home. They're all commission based, and understand how that kind of works with the idea of if they're putting in a new home. Now, I like sales reps that are really nice. I mean, Shig, over at Taylor Morrison, I love. He will explain everything to you. And if you do not like the home or whatnot, he's good. He said, hey, look, I want you to be happy. And there's some sales reps that I love that go above and beyond. Stacy at Toll Brothers, Joe Armstrong as well too. And there's a lot, but also just be aware that, they are commission based. And if they don't make their commission, they're not eaten. So just be careful. Yep. Sharks. All right. KOB was my first preferred home to buy. I was about to buy one in Rancho Cordova, but then I fell in love with the home location in West Roseville. I love KOB, but they are not in West Roseville. Yeah, it's funny. They were for a little bit, but I like JMC as well too. Honestly, JMC is good. All right. Yes, builders are sharks. As all listing agents on existing homes, as if anyone's trying to sell you anything. I'll be honest with you guys too, man. Just if you are listing your home, just make sure you're working with a listing agent that after the first 2 week rush, they're not heading out to like freaking vacation. I mean, listing agents right now, if something doesn't fly, if your listing agent is still sticking up with you and going and busting their butt, marketing, going crazy as far as marketing your home after 2 weeks, you got someone good. But like I said from the get-go, and I say this straight up, and I'm sure all these people are going to hate me for this, especially realtors, 6-month listing agreement, I think that's too long. I think that I think if you haven't sold something after 3 months, I think you're going to be just crossing your fingers and hoping for that one. And I know listing agents are going to say, but we've invested so much time and money. Clearly you didn't price the property right. So, for me, I think that that's just a little bit too long. 6 months. What do you guys think? Is that 6-month listing agreement too long? All right. And also with this, if we have a listing agreement this 3 months, then we're going to have realtors that are saying, look, I got to sell this thing in 3 months. We need to price this thing at a price point that it's going to work, because I got 3 months to make this thing happen, or they're going to go to another realtor. So I do think there's validity in this 3 months listing agreement. Hey, Mark, where do you have all your listings on your webpage? Honestly, on the webpage, it's what's called an okay, well, I'll list our listings right now. We've got one coming up in Antelope. We got one in Folsom, gorgeous, on Ritchie, Lakeview Communities, Empire Ranch, which is just gorgeous. One in Natomas. And what is it? Like, we got one in West Sacramento coming up, one in Natomas coming up, Antelope coming up, and then another one in El Dorado Hills. So we got them kind of all over the place. And for us, here's the thing for us. Normally we'll list stuff as long as we can kind of control the pricing on it. We don't want to waste our if you're selling your home, we don't want to BS you. We don't want to do what I've seen has been like the shuffle, right? A listing agent will say, yes, I can sell your home for that amount. They don't really think they can sell your home for that amount. Three weeks down the road, they're just planning on talking to you a little bit. I mean, maybe they could sell it, but if they don't, they plan on reducing it. Price goes down. They're in a 6-month contract with you to list your home. And for the most part, they reduce it, then they sell it. For me, when we go into a home, we price it to where we think it can move. I think, that's how things should kind of work. And I think one of the things that's kind of clogging up our market right now is there's a lot of listings right now, luxury listings, all that kind of stuff that are priced, not to move. I think they're just priced to be listed. And like I said, like every realtor I talk to has like 3 or 4 listings. Oh, I got all these listings. They're not moving. I mean, there's a difference between listing a home and actually selling a home. And so for me, I would just say, just pick the right listing agent, guys. Oh yeah, we have a new website too, Tatiana, Sacramento Real Estate Group, which we changed it from the Mark McDonough team to the Sacramento Real Estate Group. So check out the website. And the home that I have, the main home on that, is in El Dorado Hills. Amazing. Right on the water. Tatiana, I think that's the one you meant. Gorgeous house. We filmed that one. It's absolutely beautiful. Single story, $3.4 million house. Absolutely beautiful. Honestly, I haven't seen a house that close to the water in a long, long time. All right. My realtor is the reason why I got an extra 0.8 on my interest rate. Off my interest. Sorry, my bad. Okay, my realtor is, let me see if I can get my vision good. And my vision goes a little bit towards the end of the show. My realtor is the reason why I got an extra 0.8 off my interest rate. She was 100% worth having. Yeah, and like I said, just make sure because I hear 2 sides of the coin. Sometimes I talk to people and they'll call me up and they'll go, hey, Mark, I wish I would have found your channel earlier, but I was working with this one realtor and they kind of took me into they signed me in and I can't even get them on the phone. So just make sure, just interview the realtors, make sure they're going to stand up with you and everything too. And just make sure that they're going to do their job. Because I've seen a lot of realtors also kind of just do the whole register a new client and then just go MIA. So, it's really not that hard of a thing to help a person with a new home. Like I said, for us, we've done it left and right. Just make sure you're working with someone who is good, like you did. I mean, throw her name up here too. I'd love to know another person who does great work in new homes. All right, my realtor becomes my best friend. I'm grateful for him. Because of him, I have a home and I can call my own. I love that. I think that that's fantastic too. And I think that, at the end of the day, I think at the end of this transaction, you're going to figure out if they're just doing their job or if they actually, wanted to go that extra mile for you. And I do think, there's times on this channel I get that I maybe just throw a lot of shade at a lot of realtors out there too. But I'll tell you this as well too. I've met so many good realtors and so many listing agents too that are really, really listing agents, buyers agents, new home agents that are really, really good. I guess the thing is that it's just easier to remember the bad experiences better than the good experiences. There are great realtors here in the Sacramento area, but I would just say vet whoever you're working with, and hopefully, at the end of the transaction, they'll still be your best friend. All right. Don't sign the buyer broker at 3% today. Unfortunately for agents, low supply means more competition and the ability to negotiate the fee. Yeah, I agree. I think for the most part, like everything is negotiable as well as all that stuff goes. But I'd say for new homes, if you sign a 3% and you're thinking new homes, just be careful, guys. Just be careful. All right. Why do we need a realtor? Why not just everyone skip the realtor, buy and purchase homes themselves? You can. I mean, the hardest part about that is the idea that like when you buy it, the contracts, the liability. But I mean, I have seen people do it. A lot of investors, what they end up doing is they get their own real estate license and they do their own transactions, and that's how they do it. So, I mean, there is a little bit of that, and there's two sides of that coin. One is, realtors do it, a good realtor will do, or maybe like 30, 40 transactions in the course of the year. And they're familiar with the forms, negotiating, inspections, and all that stuff too. And the other side of the coin is you could save some money. So it's whatever you want to do. And at the end of the day, like I said, I mean, I've never pushed for anyone for any of that stuff too. Like this journey is for you guys. You guys are the buyers. You guys are the sellers. It's your property that either you're selling or you want to buy. The journey is for you guys, and just to kind of figure out, what works for you. And, if having a realtor there makes you feel good, and you see the validity of having a realtor, you should do it, and I think here's what I would say, at least have that conversation with a realtor and see, if they're giving you the blanket stuff like, oh, you can't do it with a realtor, yada, yada. But I would say at least have that conversation. And then at the end of the conversation, then decide what you want to do, but yeah, there's definitely pros and cons to both. And this is coming from a realtor. Like for me, we bust our butt. We kind of go over the contracts with everybody. We always roll every transaction we do. We always have two agents on the deal as well too, me and someone else. So that way, we always have those calls at 9:00 in the evening with clients and everything too. So I don't know, like I said, this channel is not really about telling you guys, call Mark. End all and be all. You should use a realtor. It's kind of all about educating you guys on both sides of the coin and then you guys making the decision. That's it. All right. Jennifer Ramey, she helped us sell our condo and buy a new build, and we're in contract for currently. She even stayed in contact while she was on vacation. Jennifer, if you're watching this, great job. Thank you for giving realtors a good name. I love it. I love it. I love it. Like I said, there's a lot of good realtors out there, you just got to find those, the shame about the whole thing is that there is, just a pool of probably realtors who, are looking more towards a check, and it just gives the whole industry kind of a bad name. But again, like I said, I would say do your due diligence. This is your choice, and this is no one but your choice, especially if you're thinking about buying a home or selling your home. It's your property. It's either you're selling your property or you're buying a big property. And it's a huge investment, and just do it the way you feel comfortable. All right. Keep in mind, every real estate agent who wants access to MLS pays fees to the Association of Realtors, which then makes contracts as long, complicated as possible, impossible for most to understand. You think that's bad? Okay. So your standard real estate transaction, listing agreement or contract is going to be somewhere between maybe 5 to 19 pages. Here's where it gets crazy. You think that's bad. New home contracts are 120 pages of just crazy little disclosures. Hey, why? It's just nuts. So if you think real estate, just resale transactions are brutal, if you guys are looking for new homes, that contract's at least 150 to 120 pages. It's just absolutely nuts. All right. Most agents don't even fill out forms all correctly, in all honesty. So no luck just getting your license and not making a mistake. I also think that when you're doing this stuff, I mean, you got to have like eyeballs on everything. I mean, we like, for example, we got 3 offers in for the house in Ritchie, the one in Folsom, and me and Michelle just went through all the offers, row by row, line by line, line by line, and just went through it as a team so we can make sure that we don't miss anything. So for us, like I said, I think you just have to work with a person who, one, isn't overconfident, and two, I think in this day and age, working with a team, I like it a lot better because I feel a little bit more of that redundancy. But at the end of the day, like I said, I go back to this every single time. It's your transaction, it's your journey, it's your purchase. Just do whatever you feel comfortable doing. And don't get scared by a realtor saying this or a lender saying this. It's your journey and just feel comfortable with it. All right. $350 if you have an attorney, they can read the contract for a cheaper price. Attorneys will charge you probably somewhere around $2,500 because there is liability for this as well too. But like I said, I'm not saying do it. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just telling you, like, I've had this conversation with a lot of people. At the end of the day, like, I look at it this way. If you can get and here's the thing. Every single transaction that we've done since this buyer broker came around, we've had the seller pay for our fee. So it's worked out for the buyer. That doesn't always happen, but yeah, I mean, this day and age is kind of crazy. And a lot of people can argue the fact that, okay, well, the seller paid your fee. I mean, yeah, sorry, I meant the seller. The seller paid your fee, but if he didn't pay your fee, maybe the price would have been reduced a little bit. So there is that little pull. But I think for the most part, one of the things that like our team does, because we kind of focus a little bit more on relocations, is the idea that a lot of the clients that we work with are, native to San Francisco, and they come out here, and certain realtors, like neighborhood realtors, which, there's pros and cons to everything too. Like most realtors know one area like El Dorado Hills, and, maybe they don't know Rockland, the compare and contrast thing. So for us, one of the things we like to do is, because we sell it and we sell and we also work with buyers in every single part of the Sacramento metro. We can tell you a little bit about the difference between Whitney Oaks, Catavadera, and Serrano, if you like that. We can tell you about like which one has the highest Melrose and everything too. So it just depends on who you're working with. And I think, what I've heard more than not, you just got to make sure that whatever relationship you have with your realtor, whatever, if you're going down the road working with a realtor, just vet them and just make sure they're good at what they do. All right. Let's get into some questions, guys. Boom. All right. If you guys have any more questions, this is actually, even though I am a realtor, this is a fun conversation to have. And hopefully you guys are understanding that, this isn't like there's not a wrong or a right answer in this. I mean, most realtors just say like, there is, go for a realtor. But it's, how can I say, it's not my decision as a realtor. I can't force someone to use a realtor. Like, I'm just not in that position. I would just say for you guys, do your due diligence and just make sure you're doing it, the way you feel comfortable and the way that protects you the most in the transaction. There you go. All right. Let's get to interest rates. Boom. Look, we're dipping a little bit, but still close to 7. Like I said, I'm going to agree with my buddy Manuel here. And I'm thinking that we are going to be around here probably all year. But like I said, I mean, if you watch some of the videos, you're going to see everybody say, no way, the pressure is going to mount and rates are going to go down. I don't see it happening. But, like I said, prove me wrong. All right, video guy, it's called AI, if you haven't heard. Nicely said. All right, next one. Boom. Okay, so why is the California housing market acting differently from the rest of the U.S.? California housing market defies national trends as the Bay Area home sales surge and prices rise, fueled by tech and AI boom. Now, this is kind of interesting for me. Like, one of the things that I've noticed straight up is the fact that, the Bay Area is so much about the tech, right? There's so many people that when the market, like the stocks got hit, like what was it, like 2 months ago, 2 or 3 months ago, and all of a sudden the Bay Area market just flatlined. And now all of a sudden, because the AI boom is happening, a lot of businesses switched over, and now it's like booming again. And California in general is not doing that bad comparatively towards other, like the nation as a whole is slumping like crazy. California is actually not doing too bad. All right, have a great night as well too. All right, let's get some Q&A and then we'll let you guys go for the evening. It is already, oh man, it's past an hour. Okay, I love Sacramento. There's so many things to do. River activities, biking trails, lake activities, hiking, cool restaurants, old Sacramento. Guys, this list, I kid you not, has more and more and more things. Sacramento is an amazing spot to live. And if you guys have not gotten off your butt to go take a look at it, you should. Honestly, guys, I love the Sacramento area. I wish I would have moved here a lot sooner. I'm excited for fall to come around and winter as well too. Maybe hit home goods for a couple items I don't need, but I absolutely love the Sacramento area. If you guys are looking for something that's kind of close to nature, biking trails, hiking trails, things to do for the kids, community activities, Sacramento's got that in definitely a lot. All right, inside a $3.4 million custom waterfront estate. Now, if that was in another state other than California, it would be nice. Here's the thing about California. This house, honestly, probably in Texas would have been like $420. But here's the thing, you pay for the California lifestyle. California lifestyle. And there is something to be said about that. You know, when Texas is like people run into their basements because of, you know, everything going on and stuff like this, we aren't. I mean, if you look at Sacramento in general, tornadoes, nope. Hurricanes, nope. I have not felt an earthquake. I mean, we get a little rain during winter time. We get some wind. We get hot summers for maybe what, 4 or 5 days here. Maybe not even. I mean, this summer was like nothing comparatively towards other summers. For me, not only are you paying for like a nice house in the Sacramento area, but you're also paying for the weather, the lifestyle, the climate, being close to all these things like Tahoe, like Napa, the Bay Area. So it's not only the house, but it's also the area. All right. And what great point. All right. How come you never got into building? Just curious. You know, I like the building part of it, you know, and I like the idea, honestly, eventually of actually building my own home. Now I'm not going to go crazy like one of those people like building like a 5,000 square foot home. I would love to actually build a home, you know, maybe with a little bit of land, maybe even do a dog rescue. But as far as building, I don't know. I think it could be an interesting venture to jump into. And I think Sacramento would be a great market to do it. Now, I have partnered up with some builders that came in from Canada. In fact, a lady by the name of Robin, she's new to the team, and her husband, Suki, they're both from Canada, and they're amazing builders. So you could see some of that stuff in the near future. I think building is the good way to go, and I'd love to learn a little bit more about it as well, too. I've reached out to a couple of builders, and they're really good at building custom homes to get on this channel so we can talk a little custom homes, and I can get a little bit more information as well, too. But I don't know. In the future, you never know. I mean, building, I'd love to do some flips. I'd love to do some renovations as well, too. There's a whole bunch of stuff that really, as a person who's just curious about real estate, I'd love to jump into. All right. Hey, guys, how are you doing? Hopefully, I know that property in Grant Bay wasn't what you're looking for, but I will tell you this, we're going to find you something that you like. And like I said, talk to Noel as well, too, but have a good evening. Hopefully you guys are doing good, and hopefully you guys are enjoying the show. Also, if you can, we're thinking about, if you see anything on the market that you like to see, let me know, and I'll take you out personally this weekend. All right. Mark, I could use a builder who can hit a competitive price per square foot in Sacramento. Haven't found one. Okay, so I have a builder that builds really good at $240 a square foot. That's the best build price that I've seen so far in the Sacramento area. $240 a square foot. So if that's something that you guys are interested in, let me know. I'm trying to get him on the show. I don't know why it's so difficult. I mean, literally, like, he's a great builder, you know, but you know, I'm trying my best to get him on, but he does building around $240 a square foot. Now I know a lot of people are aiming for that, like 150, 170. Still haven't found that person just yet, but if I do, I'll bring them on the channel. All right, let's get some more questions, and then we'll let you guys go for the evening. Also, if you guys are enjoying the broadcast, please smash that like button. That YouTube algorithm, it keeps bugging me and saying, Mark, you need some more likes for these videos. All right, boom. Great show, information as well, entertaining. Thank you, appreciate it. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this. And like I said, one of the things that I want to do with the show as well too, is to basically be transparent, give you guys some active stats, and give you guys a temperature on the market, but also show you guys that like I can go an hour, 2 hours talking real estate about Sacramento, not even a problem. I think some of the videos out there are like jump cuts and like, oh, 3 takes to do it. You know, every Wednesday at 7 p.m., I go from like 1 hour to 2 hours, even sometimes longer than that. And hopefully you guys do enjoy the show and you guys get a little value from it. If you did, smash that like button. All right, we got this. Boom. Too high to pencil on specs unless you go massively. Yeah, I know. Like I said, if I find someone better at a better price point, but at the same time, here's the thing. I want to find someone like the guy at 240 builds amazing luxury, nice, really, really nice homes. So I do want, if I find someone that's maybe underneath 200, I'll bring them on, but I need to vet their work as well too. One of the things that I pride myself on is the fact that the people I bring on the show, whether lenders, contractors, or whatnot, they're good at what they do. And if one of you guys reached out to them, like a Javier or like a Dan Loesch, they're people that I could say, honestly, like I recommended them. I recommend them again, and they're really good at what they do. So before I bring on any person who's telling me they can build it 100 per square feet, I want to just vet their work. All right, boom. Sacramento homeowners struggle with soaring California insurance costs. Some insurance companies have dropped their home insurance. Yeah, I mean, it is one of those things that, for the most part, home insurance is a big thing. Fire insurance, and it's probably going to get worse before it gets better. I would say one of the things for you guys too is before you fall in love with a house, just make sure that you know all the gotchas that you might run into. That's one of the things that we work with our clients on. Finding out like a good home insurance price, making sure that because here's one of the things that you guys just gotta also, this is a big like gotcha. Okay, so let's say you're looking at a house in El Dorado Hills, right? And you love it. It's absolutely gorgeous. Or let's go Shingle Springs. Boom. You're, oh my God, this is amazing. This is a great home. I love it. Oh my God, home insurance has got to be out of control. And then you talk to the agent and they show you the proof that home insurance is maybe like $2,000 a year. And you're like, ah, man, that isn't bad. Make sure they're not grandfathered into their policy. I've been in situations where I've talked to realtors and all of a sudden that's a big thing. So just make sure you're getting an accurate current quote on your home insurance before you pull the trigger. Big thing to watch out for. Oh, the show's amazing. Thanks. No problem. Thank you. I appreciate you guys tuning in too. And like I said, for me, I love doing the show. I love kind of like doing this Q&A with everybody as well too. Bring your questions, bring your comments, bring your, opinions about the real estate market here in Sacramento. One of the things that I love about having people that comment, even about the realtor stuff or building stuff or whatever, is the fact that like after the video is done, you're going to see people who are thinking about maybe moving to Sacramento, and your comments are going to probably help them out a whole bunch and maybe at least give them something to think about. And I think that is really huge. So for you guys, bring your comments, bring your questions. Let's talk. All right. Would you prefer living somewhere with less smog and wildfire haze? I prefer moving to another state. I mean, honestly, and not being brutal, but like if you want to move to another state, I mean, hopefully you get that chance to do it. Hopefully you find a state that works for you. Maybe it's a little bit more affordable and everything too. Hopefully everybody gets to live where they want to live. I mean, for me, I wake up every single morning and I say to myself, I love Sacramento. I'm not moving from Sacramento. I can't wait to see what Sacramento looks like in 2030, 2035. Like, I love this area. So for me, hopefully you get to find that spot. Maybe Oklahoma. Okay, so do you need access to public transit like Sacramento Regional Transit? You need a vehicle to enjoy Sacramento fully. I would agree with that 100%. If you're someone coming in from another area that has a lot of transit, don't expect that in Sacramento. Yes, there's a light rail between downtown and Folsom. Nobody really uses it. Just being realistic. I would say that Sacramento is kind of like LA where you need a car to get around. Sacramento is very, very spread out. So when you are looking for a home and you're saying to yourself, oh, you know what? We're coming from a condo in the Bay Area. We only had one parking space. We have a couple kids. Let's just get a 2-car garage. Think about that. Because we are a driving city. The kids are going to need cars, and just factor all that stuff in. But we definitely are a driving city. And you got to agree, you definitely need a car when you live in Sacramento. All right, why Sacramento, California is the next big thing in 2025. Coming from SAC, real estate agents saying SAC is the next big thing. Same story from 20 years ago. And SAC is still not a thing. Well, here's what I will tell you about that. Then Redfin is completely like lying to us about the statistics. Because again, beginning of this year, everyone was leaving California, but Sacramento, still the #1 search for destination of people looking to move somewhere in all the nation. So that should tell you something, that if we aren't the next big thing, why are all these people thinking about moving to Sacramento? So for me, I look at that and I say Redfin out of everywhere. Dallas, Phoenix, all these other places. Sacramento, guys, was the #1 searched for place destination that people were researching, looking at homes to move into in the entire United States. So honestly, if you guys haven't seen, and if you don't think Sac's grown in the last 20 years, I don't know, maybe you just haven't come out recently. Okay. Would you prefer living somewhere with less smog and wildfire haze? Would never live in the Bay Area. I prefer the Valley 10 times out of 10. Yeah. One of the things I noticed about the Bay Area, the haze is a little bit brutal. I mean, look, I love the Bay and everything too, but you know, I'm not giving away. I'm not moving out of Sacramento anytime soon. All right. So much house costs like $500K in Sacramento, but yet most Sacramento people who live here make between $43 and $75K. Not a lot of high paying jobs yet. People from other cities flood in to invest here, which made houses way too expensive. Nowadays, rent one house with 2 families live in. I'll agree with you. I'll say straight up, I think Sacramento should focus a little bit more on the affordable housing. One of the markets or what the sectors of people that I think Sacramento's forgetting are the first-time home buyers, are the people who grew up in Sacramento. And it's a shame. I think, you know, the train maybe left the station and there's not really those houses to jump into anymore. And it's a shame. And hopefully we get some affordable housing in Sacramento, because it would be a shame for someone who grew up in Sacramento to not have the ability to buy in Sacramento. All right, California housing market coming in. High interest rates. If you sell you'll end up paying higher, and new builds will be more expensive because labor and building materials will be higher, and no one will sell so low because they have lower mortgage or just have it rented if you can't get the price you want. Yeah, builders, new homes have better incentives, and our area is sold out for new homes. And that's a big thing. Guys, one of the things about the Sacramento area in general is you're not going to find anywhere in California that they're building more than they are building in the Sacramento area. Like I said, Folsom Ranch, Elk Grove, West Sacramento, Lincoln, West Roseville, Rockland. I mean, we're building so many new homes. If you're someone who's thinking about maybe moving to Sacramento, just understand, and you're coming in from LA or the Bay Area, understand that new homes definitely should be part of that equation, especially if you're looking for incentives, especially if you want to qualify for more house. New homes are kind of where you should be looking as well too. Boom, JMC is the best. I like JMC. Standard upgrades, some of the best in the business. California's top location revealed. Good Lord, I can't believe anyone would live in California anywhere. Yeah, there's a lot of people here in California, and I think we're loving it. And in fact, this wintertime, I'll probably be going to Tahoe to do a little snowboarding. So yeah, I'm okay with California. Are you guys okay with California? You guys okay with Sacramento? Because I'm pretty happy here. Okay. Is increasing traffic congestion in certain corridors something to be worried about? No, it's ridiculous, especially since we have tolls to look forward to. Guys, one bad thing, I'll tell you this, and I was talking to Derek, as far as like, you know, he's like, tolls are coming to the causeway within the next 2 to 3 years. That's almost like, he said that's almost like 100% right now too. But he said the connector project right now, as of right now, the connector that's connecting Elk Grove to Folsom, so far there's no tolls planned. All right, I got construction fatigue. It's not just interstate corridors. Construction projects in the Sac city limits are also causing traffic problems on the local streets. I know. Like I said, it's because Sacramento is full of these arteries like Sierra College, like Sunrise, like Bradshaw. We don't have that nice little like freeway going around Sacramento. And so now that we've put in what, at this point, maybe like 70,000 new homes. Yeah, it's going to be a problem. So hopefully Sacramento does something, create some good infrastructure, because areas like have you guys seen East Bidwell at 5 o'clock in the afternoon? It's going to get worse. So hopefully we take care of that a little bit. And hopefully maybe in my lifetime, the 50 actually gets completed, which would be nice, which would be really, really nice. All right. Boom. Bay Area people, don't go to Stockton. Laugh out loud. I know. I think the secret's out on Sacramento, except for some of these people who are like moving to Texas. Good luck. Good luck with Texas. Good luck with Texas all day long. People love Tahoe, so they move here. I think the thing about Sacramento is, you know, I think maybe Sacramento people did it on purpose, like threw so much shade at Sacramento that people were just like saying, nah, there's no way I'm moving to Sacramento. And then the brave few that came to Sacramento discovered, man, they were just fooling us, realize how great of a place Sacramento is. Bay Area is nice if you're rich. I agree 100% with that. I think the Bay Area is a great spot if you have the money to play in the Bay Area, if you have the money to buy a house that you always wanted in the Bay Area. for me, one of the things that like one of the things, at least for me, is that I don't want to buy a house based on just a location. Like, and that's what I ran into when I was growing up in Marin. It was like, if I bought a house in Marin, it wouldn't give me the pool. It wouldn't give me the size I wanted, but I could tell my friends I have a house in Marin. That's not what I wanted to do. Now in Sacramento, mortgage is less than it would be in the Bay Area. I bought something I've always wanted. In an area that's growing and developing. And honestly, like, I don't feel that small house, like, claustrophobia that I have to leave my house every 5 minutes with my kids. Like, we're in the pool, we're hanging out, we're inviting people over for parties. We're having a good time here. So honestly, for me, Sacramento, best decision I ever made. And well, great point. Tina's Bay Area, go away. We don't need affordable homes. We need Bay Area wages. If we got Bay Area wages here in Sacramento, man, that right there would be a game changer. I'd love to see that. Can you even imagine what that would do for the Sacramento area? It'd be just nuts. Hey guys, by the way, if you're enjoying the broadcast, smash that like button. All right, boom. Next one. Do you need to be within a short drive of the major airport? No, I lived near an airport for years. Those loud planes are nerve-wracking. I don't know, for me at least, if I'd want to live like that close, where like I was like right there by the planes. I would like that. Here's the thing. Shout out to West Roseville. I love that distance to the airport. I think that works for me a lot too. But like I said, some people need to be there for commuting, flights. All right. Do you have interest in exploring Sacramento's growing food scene? So-called food scene is a joke. Sac is almost never mentioned in the foodie programs, while only occasionally getting a minor mention in print. This is just Sacramento promoting itself. Look, farm to fork, I think some of the restaurants here are pretty amazing. I think the produce I get is great. I like Sacramento. The food scene works. And you're talking to someone who I lived in the Bay Area. I lived downtown. I lived near in San Francisco on Nob Hill. Like, I lived there. I went to some of the best restaurants there were. I don't miss them at all. I love Sacramento. Not only that, I mean, like, here's the thing. North Beach Pizza, miss you a little bit. Boulevard, miss you a little bit. But honestly, I found some amazing restaurants here that I absolutely love. And guess what? I can jump in my car. I can park somewhere. I'm not paying for parking. I'm not paying for toll roads. I'm not paying for any of that stuff. And I'm not paying 3 times the amount for a restaurant meal and getting a tiny little portion. So I'm okay with it. All right. AI taking over our jobs soon. How will people pay their big mortgages? They're going to get AI to cleverly find ways for them to pay their mortgages. All right, here we go. California's top location revealed. Several reasons why people are moving. Okay, I like living in Yuba, California. I'm telling you guys, like, the future of affordable housing in the Sacramento, kind of like the area and everything too, is like Plumas, it's Linda, that whole area. I think it's going to be probably like, I think it's what Sacramento was maybe like, I don't know, 15 years ago. So I don't know. It's, it's not a bad option if someone's looking in the 400s for sure. Okay, Sacramento homeowners struggle with soaring California insurance costs. When the managers of the state tell the world the fires are not controllable because of climate change, what are they supposed to think? California needs management serious about dealing with the problems that come up. I got to agree with that. I do think that as far as like California home insurance, we got to deal with it as far as managing the fires as well too. Hopefully that gets taken care of. But like I said, not holding my breath. All right. Video guy Matt. Intel laid off another 600 in Folsom 2 weeks ago. That's like the 4th layoff there this year. Yep, they laid off 400. They laid off another 600 to make more room for part of the Intel campus that they'll be renting to Qualcomm to probably bring in another 600 of them. So yeah, it's going to be musical chairs up there for a while. And it was so funny. I mean, I did a video on the Intel thing, and Intel was right. I mean, they didn't sell off their campus over there. They're just, strategically renting it out. And I think what you're going to see is Qualcomm. So, hang tight. Kitchen, Ella, Rose Park in Roseville. I like that. How about a Chef's Table as well too in Rockland? Pretty good. Like I said, for me, here's the thing that really drove me nuts in the Bay Area. It was like, for Valentine's Day, you'd have to 6 months in advance to get like a booking at a restaurant. Like, it just drove me nuts. And then all of a sudden you go there, you got to get a cab, you got to tip a valet, you got to do all that stuff too. Like, I don't miss that stuff. There's not a steak in this world that would make me like miss that. Like Ella, the fried chicken, amazing. The kitchen, fantastic. Like we have our stuff here in Sacramento. It's for me, it's a little ludicrous when people are like, the food scene, this. Like I love it. And we got some great barbecue spots in Sacramento as well too. All right. This is a suburban environment with relative spacing. Let me see that if I can say this in English to you. Does a suburban environment with relatively spacious housing appeal to you? Yeah, guys, one of the main reasons why people are moving to the Sacramento area is for spacious homes, suburban living, community vibe. Like we want, at least for me, I look at like Sacramento, I said to myself, I want to raise my daughter in an area where she can ride her bikes. She knows that we go to swim team events. You know, we do basketball, we go to like, weekends for soccer camp or for soccer games and everything too. We go to night in the park with all her friends. Like, this is why I came here. Like, so for me, if you're looking for that suburban vibe, Sacramento is definitely, I'd say 90% of it is suburban. So it's fun, it's enjoyable. And at the end of the day, we have those houses that can actually support bringing people in to have those fun barbecue parties and pool parties that Sacramento is getting known for. All right. I like living by the airport because you don't hear the PD helicopters because of the FAA rules. You know what I don't like about it? Can't fly drones. Nowhere near the airport. All right. Do you need access to public transit like Sacramento Regional Transit? Yes, no, 29%. One of the things you guys definitely need to be prepared for is if you are moving to Sacramento, transit is going to be brutal. Now they have the new train station, Elk Grove, that's going to be taking you to the Bay Area or connecting you with them. But for the most part, as far as transit goes, it's so limited here in Sacramento. I would just say, hopefully Sacramento kind of gets off their butt and gives us some more transit, because what you're going to notice is with all these new homes, with the lack of like, the 50 being all like, construction, everything too, and all these little arteries, we're definitely going to need some kind of we're going to need some transit for sure. So hopefully it comes sooner than later, because that's something Sacramento definitely needs, like ASAP. All right. You have interest in exploring Sacramento's growing food scene and craft breweries? Yes. The coolest thing about Sacramento is that you see new restaurants, new breweries, new things to do pop up almost on a weekly basis here in Sacramento. There are so many people that actually make suggestions to me, like in comments or DMs. They're telling me you should go check out this place or that place. I might actually do some of these videos that just showcase some of these like cool places to eat, cool places, things to do here in Sacramento. I just got to get a little bit of time to do that. But I think you guys, especially people who aren't from Sacramento, I think you might be really, really surprised by the type of restaurants and the type of dining we have here, and also the type of food options that we have in Sacramento. Really top notch. All right. No one uses public transportation here. Scary robot taxis will be the future. I know. I think there's like Google taxis all over the place in San Francisco. Yeah, I know. That's the thing that a lot of people, I did this one video and someone's like, hey, don't forget to mention like, the Folsom to Sacramento, the train. And I was like, no one really uses it. And I felt kind of like bad not mentioning it, but at the same time, there was a part of me that was kind of like, I don't necessarily know if I say that, if people are going to expect more than what they get when they get here. For me, it's just like, that the rail, whatever that goes between Folsom and like downtown Sacramento. I don't know. I mean, I've never used it. Have you guys used it? Because I literally do not know one person that's used it. So that's just a little bit of a heads up. All right. Only problem with AI is robots don't buy stuff. So billionaires will be hoarding cash. Well, what else is new? Yeah, it's true. AI is a scary thing. AI is definitely one of those things, at least I look at it as in like, especially in real estate. I mean, what you're noticing right now is AI. You're going to see real estate videos, AI videos coming out, AI editing, AI this, AI that. And it's a shame a little bit. But at the same time, it's almost one of those things where everybody is doing it. Like I see people like doing blog posts with AI, doing their SEO for their like web pages and everything too. And the other thing too is resumes too. People just go to like ChatGPT and just say, for this job, craft me a certain resume. So I don't know, maybe next video, the pros and cons of AI in real estate. All right. Does North Lake Natomas have potential to increase in price as an investment? Honestly, like when North Lake came out, it was the big thing. Everyone was freaking out about North Lake. They're like, oh my God, it's going to be fantastic. What I've heard about North Lake right now is the fact that building is stalled a little bit too. It looks a little depressing, looks a little vacant out there too. But I do like that area in general, but I think it's just going to take a little bit of time. I mean, they've got to complete the entire community. They've got to get people just like actively doing, they've just got to get a little bit more activity in that community to gauge how it's going to do. For me, I thought when it first came out, I was like, this is amazing. They're going to do man-made lakes, houses on the water and everything too. They just need to complete that. And then we're going to figure out exactly where that fits into the landscape of Sacramento. I still think there's a place for it, but I do think they need to complete it. And the Natomas area needs to get a little more love. But yeah, I think it could be a good spot, but I do think it's just going to take a while. Like what I've heard about North Lake is it just looks very like empty. All right. Boom. North Lake is, there we go. North Lake is depressing. Drive through it. Look how it's holding up after 2 years. Wrong school district too. Yeah. Like I said, I think Lennar really dropped the ball on North Lake. I think that they overshot. They were planning all these different kind of like communities in there and all this stuff happening. And it just looks like one of those communities, back in 2008, people were saying, oh, there are communities that are newly built that you can drive through and there's no one living there. It has that kind of vibe. So I think, and that kind of stigma, and more people are finding out about it. So I think it's going to take a while. Like I said, I think you might see a lot of deals happening in North Lake for people buying homes. I know straight up a lot of realtors who are reselling homes in North Lake as well too, because people are just kind of feeling like Lennar isn't going to complete that community. So hopefully it does well, and like I wish it well, because I know a lot of people bought into that community. Like I said, I was one of the first people. I looked at it, I'm like, if they do this community right, it could be really a game changer. They just need to pull the trigger and figure exactly out how to complete it, make it look nice. And then we're going to really see how it's going to fit into the landscape of like the Sacramento area. All right, guys, what are we at? We are at 1 hour and 45 minutes. So I'm going to go. I enjoyed talking to you guys as always. I'm going to be on next Wednesday at 7 p.m. And this Friday, I'm going to drop a video. It's probably going to be like a new home community. Like I think I'm either going to do like, I don't know, Woodside, or I'm going to do maybe Toll Brothers Bickford again or something like that. So it's going to be a fun new home community. We're going to shoot it up. We're going to also talk about the deals that I've been seeing at some of these other places as well too. And also I have a video in the queue that I recorded with the head of the Connector project. I'm going to do that one as well too. So there's going to be a lot of content on this channel about Sacramento. And it's not just like opening pretty doors and showing you guys houses. It's going to be a little bit more of like the 401 about what's going on in Sacramento, especially this Wednesday show that I do at 7. All right. Nobody goes downtown. Oh, okay. One last thing before I go. I will tell you this, Manuel's right. Like one of the things I've noticed in Sacramento is Folsom. You stay kind of in Folsom. Maybe go to Roseville now and again to do some shopping. Roseville stays in Roseville. There just is one of those things where we're kind of like various communities and pockets. Like a lot of people, like if you talk to them, especially people who live in Folsom or El Dorado Hills, they won't really know that much about downtown or what's happening there. People in the Fab 40s won't really know what's happening in El Dorado Hills. Like it's just, there is a very disconnect between areas in Sacramento. So that's something, if you guys are moving here, to realize the fact that you don't really have to be close to downtown Sacramento to enjoy the Sacramento area. All right, guys. I'll see you next Wednesday live at 7 p.m. Remember, Friday at 7 p.m. I'm dropping another video. Okay, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video and the show that we do every single Wednesday at 7 p.m. If you enjoyed the show, smash that like button. Also, any comments and questions, I will definitely get to them, I promise you. Also, guys, we are a relocation team, a real estate team in the area. If you're thinking about making the move to the Sacramento area, Roseville, Rockland, Sacramento County, Placer County, El Dorado County, Yolo County, we're your team and we got your back when you're moving to the area. There's a Zoom link below. Hit that Zoom link, get on a call with us. We can answer any questions you might have about making the move to Sacramento. Now, if you're someone looking to sell their home in the Sacramento area and you're not having any luck, or you're thinking about listing and you're wondering like, what's a good strategy in this market? Reach out to our team, guys. We've been having so much luck with YouTube and marketing. Social media is the new thing that gets basically houses sold. And we'd love to work with you and show you our analytics and show you how we market. There is not one team in the area that markets like we do. Now, one last thing before I go, there's a playlist over there of other videos I've done about the Sacramento area. Education is power, guys, and those videos will give you the insight you need to make a good decision when making the move to Sacramento. All right, guys, this is Mark. Have a good one. See you next video.